Mental health and mental illness is a topic that is very rarely touched upon in video games. This is where the Town of Light breaks the mould, and not by just touching on the stigmatised subject, but holding no punches in delivering a dark, emotional and genuinely chilling insight into the brutal handlings of mentally ill patients in the early 20th century. The story focuses around a young girl called Renee who was admitted to a mental asylum, or lunatic asylum as they were called back in the 1930s, just outside Tuscany in Italy. The story of this troubled adolescence unfolds as you explore the now derelict asylum in modern day. By finding different journal entries or medical documents, you'll uncover more into the story of this torturous medical practices. A warning now, all the content in this game is of a very mature nature and not recommended for children. At times I struggled to watch some of the animations unfolding, and it often made the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. This real sense of horror is fueled by the atmospheric feel of the asylum that you play through. Decaying walls, ill-lit corridors and clear signs of struggle really help immerse you in the harrowing environment. The haunted halls of this asylum also tell the story of other inmates. By just walking into a room, you're provided with enough to piece together what terror used to fill the four walls you're now standing in. For example, while exploring the gardens of the asylum, I came across a small hidden door. Entering the room took me down a tiny set of steps and into a very small cellar. With just a mattress and half-full bucket littering the floor, I soon came to the realisation that this pit was no doubt used to punish the inmates of this brutal asylum. It's in these moments where the Town of Light is so effective in opening your eyes to the inhumane treatments that mentally ill patients suffered only just over 60 years ago. Although all characters mentioned throughout the game's roughly 3-hour playthrough are fictional, the main driving force of the story is based on true events, which adds an even bigger punch to the visceral impact the narrative continuously brings. Apologies if I'm being very vague on the main premise of the game, but it was the not knowing when sitting down to play the Town of Light that really helped the game deliver a full heartfelt sucker punch, and one that I've rarely felt in a video game before. When you enter the asylum for the first time, a lot of the doors are locked, and as you progress you'll be given more access to the different parts of this labyrinth of terror. Although most of the gameplay involves you going to a new section, finding the interactive object and watching the next cutscene, there is the addition of a few puzzles. These mostly consist of restoring power to a section of the asylum or turning the water back on to unlock a hidden memory. Although these are not the most complicated, they did mix up the dynamics of the game, and one in particular in the latter stages really had me stumped, but also brought a real sense of achievement once I'd pieced together the different pieces. With the Town of Light being an exploration game, there's a big responsibility on you finding your own way around the maze of dark and death-wreaking corridors. It's with this responsibility the game suffers from some pacing issues. This is most present in the final act of the game, where it takes a bizarre turn and forces you into a repetitive corridor maze section. This section provides more frustration than progression. The Town of Light is no doubt one of the most heart-wrenching games I've ever played. The detailed and immersive atmosphere of the mental asylum will make your skin crawl with every new revelation of another inhumane treatment tested on the poor locked up mental patients. Although the game's narrative slightly drops off in the final act with some frustrating pacing issues, you're soon pulled back in for a grueling conclusion to one of the most memorable stories I've played in recent years.